Welcome back to Buckmore Park for the Stevenage Sheet Metal Super 1 British Karting Championships. It's the TKM classes up next, and joining me is the TKM boss, Alan Turney. Now, Alan, I want to talk to you a little bit about the success of the Interclub Championship, how that started off a few years ago, and it's gaining momentum, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been really successful. It was something that the drivers approached us about. They wanted to do quite a simple championship, not too much travelling around, and keep the costs down. So as we looked into it, we found we could do that, and there was a few clubs in the Midlands that started it with us, and that was very successful the first year. After that first year, then the Northerners wanted to join in, and then the third year the Southerners did, which is this year now. So we've had a few teething problems. Sometimes we spoil some of the grids from some of the other tracks, but we bring a lot more races to the other tracks that have never raced there before. So it's a roundabout and swing situation, but overall the drivers are really pleased with it.
Okay, now looking back to round 3 of this championship, British Championships, a couple of questions. First of all, how pleased were you to see Matt England, the scholarship winner from last year, come back this year as an independent team, dad and lad? And secondly, how great was it to see him come from the back of the grid to win the televised race?
Well, it was such a fantastic thing for the boy. I mean, he was picked as a scholarship, and what a deserving prize he had, because he's proved it no end that he's been a good driver. Great to see him come back on his own steam now to do the second championship for the second year. Terrific, putting it on first in qualifying, coming through the heats, had a bad second final, but come from the back to win. I mean, just so proud of the boy. And again, he's doing it again at Buckmore. He's proven it isn't just a fluke at one track. Yeah, and he's so enjoying it.
Disappointing to see such a low grid in TKM Extreme, but that doesn't mean the quality is diminished. Patterson, the rookie, on pole position with Ogden alongside him, and keep an eye on the likes of Forsdyke, Sproat, England, Patterson, Rosser, McMurray. It's going to be a magnificent race, this one. If anything we've seen before is to go by, the TKM Extreme boys will make it an even closer race. As up the inside comes Ogden on Owain Rosser. He's through into third position, Rosser fourth, England fifth, Sproat is there in sixth position, but the leader of the race is the leader of the rookies, Alex Patterson.
Joe Forsdyke, the Super 1 champion from last year, in second place. You may be forgiven for thinking, if you saw Joe at the last round, to be Owain Rosser back up into third place. James Ogden dropped to fourth, Matt England in behind them in fifth. Joe Forsdyke, you may be forgiven for thinking that Joe Forsdyke was auditioning at the last round for the new summer blockbuster movie Fat Man and Robin. No prizes for guessing the role that Joe Forsdyke, or Joe Fortunes as his friends were calling him at Landau, what role he was auditioning for, Jake.
No, not the slightest bit harsh at all. Poor Joe, he can't even defend himself at this point.
He's been in the gym since then.
Well, fair play to him, and he's certainly pushing very hard indeed out in front to get past Al Patterson. Third place, Owain Rosser. Now he's into third position. He has dropped the field like a lead balloon, and fourth place now is England. He's made the move on Ogden, so Rosser, P3, having started P5, is now chasing after the two leaders. Patterson out in front and Forsdyke in second.
Patterson, Forsdyke and Rosser just getting a little bit of a lead on the man in fourth place. There's Rosser up the inside for second. So Forsdyke back to third. Later in the race though, he's through to the lead. So Forsdyke still there in third place. Alex Patterson down to second.
Owain Rosser then hits the front. Matt England is closing in on these three now in the 10, and on the O-plate in fifth position, that is James Ogden. It is a bit disappointing that we've got so small a grid, but look at the quality of the race that we've got here. All 8 karts in a line, battling for the victory. Every single one of them has a chance to win. When was the last time you saw in a motor race a grid of drivers with every single one of them on that starting grid being capable of winning the race? You certainly wouldn't in Formula 1.
Yeah, they're all in the same shot there, aren't they, as they're going up the hill, up Herbert Rise, into the left-hander, which leads them out here onto the Sisley Straight.
Up the inside, good move from Patterson to take the lead back again. Rosser is there in second place, third still Forsdyke, but now Matt England has lost a little bit of ground. He's lost a place as well, because up comes the O-plate. James Ogden into fourth, and into fifth has come Kyle Sproat. So what's happened to Matt England? I think he's down into sixth place now.
So Matt England, who won last time the televised race, starting from the back of the grid. If anyone can come from behind, it will be Matt England, but he's got a little bit of work to do here. Up Herbert Rise one more time into the left-hander. at Cafe Curve.
Yep, Sprout and England are having a fantastic dogfight for 5th position behind this pack of karts as Patterson holds on to that lead again. Rosser's having a look on the inside. Back into the lead he goes. Very nicely done. And this is a great opportunity for Joe Forsdyke to watch what's going on. Patterson goes through on the inside, and here comes Forsdyke on the inside line. He gets that 2nd position into the left-hander at the S's. Beautiful overtake.
I was going to say it's some of the best racing we've ever seen in Super 1 in this programme. I'm going to correct that. It is the best racing we've ever seen in any Super 1 programme in every single race. Absolutely brilliant. If you fancy racing karts, by the way, check out the Association of British Kart Clubs website at abkc.org.uk. They list every single kart club in the country, all the circuits, all the clubs. You can find out all about karting and get involved.
Absolutely, and let's not forget that this championship, Rosser up the inside, the number 1 of Forsdyke. This is for senior racers, so anybody over the age of 16 can compete at this level for a national championship. Never mind the up-and-coming stars of tomorrow. If you're a kart racer over the age of 16 and you think I'm one of the best in Britain, this is the championship for you. And these boys putting an absolutely cracking show. Here comes the O-plate now. James Ogden onto the back of the top 3. He's dropped England, Sprout, McMurray and Edgley, and now we've got a great fight on our hands a little way up the road. So good battle. Rosser hanging on to 2nd position. Patterson still holds the lead. Here he goes up the inside, takes the lead again. Absolute textbook. That's a replica manoeuvre, and this time, look, he held the inside line well. He's not going to let Patterson get past him again this time.
And they're still all on the same bit of tarmac, Jake. You were saying that this is the senior category. It is, of course, but don't forget, if you've got kids from 6 years of age, you can get involved in MSA karting. So just get in touch with your local club via the abkc.org.uk website, and they will give you all the information you know. If you've got children and they're watching this thinking, Dad, I really want to have a go, then get in touch, as we've got a new leader, Jake.
I'm really hoping my daughter never says anything like that, either of them, because if they get into racing like this, it's going to be very expensive for me, especially when the level of competition is so fierce. Later on into the race, we can see that Patterson has picked up the lead, a little bit more of a gap opening up here, with Forsdyke now in 2nd position, comfortably hanging on in front of England. That is now up to 3rd position in front of Rosser, with the O-plate Ogden down to 5th position in front of Sprout. Up 7th position, that is the 86 of McMurray, and then it is Edgley in the 91.
Joe Forsdyke and James Ogden would have come into this season thinking it's a fairly small grid, it's between us and nobody else. How wrong could they be? Matt England, one of those drivers that's right out front, come from the scholarship position last year, having won the scholarship, come back to Super 1, dad and lad team, and right at the front of the field. And then you've got the likes of Alex Patterson, the rookie, who's leading this race. James Ogden on the O-plate just going through the picture, the British Open champion, and the British champion there, Forsdyke, on the 1 car, is now in 4th place. Must be thinking, we thought this was going to be a lot easier than this.
Well, I have a feeling there's going to be plenty more superstar talents in the world of British karting at 16 and over watching this thinking, well, if I could take on the British Open champion and the reigning champion in Super 1, if these guys can do it, like Al Patterson as the rookie out in front, well, I'm sure I can handle this as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the TKM Festival this year, Jake. We do that every year at Kimbolton. I am really looking forward to that. I think we're going to see some cracking racing in the junior and TKM Extreme classes this year.
Well, this race isn't done with yet. Despite Patterson building up a bit of an advantage, he's still got Matt England breathing down his neck in the 10. He's not letting him get away easily. 3rd place, it's still an open contest between Rosser and Forsdyke, and I'm not sure which of them is actually going to have the advantage as we go into the penultimate lap of this race. Less than a few seconds tick down now, so we have gone down to 0. This is the penultimate lap of this encounter as we watch the battle for 6th position. Very briefly, Kyle Sprout battling it out with Thomas McMurray as they continue to charge after the O-plate. James Ogden sitting in 5th position, scratching his head in bemusement. Why am I not even in the podium positions right now?
Matt England, I have to say how impressed I've been with Matt England and his dad. They've come back this year. I was worried that they wouldn't bother, they'd just do the scholarship year and then wouldn't come back. He's come back. Not only has he come back, but look at this, chasing down the leader. He is going to be one of the main contenders for the championship this year, I think, Matt England. I have to say at this point, Patterson clearly as a rookie, amazing performance in his first season in Super 1. So he's doing amazing, but I've got a feeling if the bookmakers were making a book, Matt England, as we're into the last lap, would probably be the championship favourite at this stage.
Oh, one last attempt perhaps from Forsdyke to get into third position on Rosser. We have to look back. Rosser's defending, but Patterson has got the measure of England this time. It's great to see a rookie out in front, and he knows it. Oh, side by side, Rosser and Forsdyke very nearly come to blows, but it's a victory for Alex Patterson, who gets third. It's Rosser in front of Forsdyke. Ogden is in fifth position. Sixth place for Carl Sproat, just in front of Thomas McMurray. Eighth place for Grant Edgley. But what a podium. Patterson, England and Rosser, all 8 karts under 6 seconds is the gap. Unbelievable.
It's been a hard weekend, but we got there in the end. We dropped back in the first final, we dropped back to last, but managed to come back through and take the win. And the second final, managed to break away, but then I had Owen Rossell catch me up halfway through the race. Managed to do him again into the second hairpin, and then just tried staying as consistent as I could till the flag, really. I'd like to thank my dad, my little brother Ed for mechanicking, and also Adrian Game for the engines.
Well, we leave this astonishing weekend at Buckmore Park in the Garden of England to move to North Wales for Glanagorse Park. Beautiful scenery. The weather is usually a factor, but we're hoping for sunshine to see that glorious Helicam back in action over the races. See you in a couple of weeks' time.